Talk show on point, y'all.
Talk show on point. We're back for another week on the On Point Talk Show. We're a little short-staffed at the moment, but that's okay. We will make do with what we have to. Um, Symbolic, man. How you feeling today?
I'm pretty good. I am the worst type of bandwagon fan when it comes to sports, but
Oh
Toronto
man.
is going to the World Series, so the mood is electric. I'll be cheering as long as they're not making us look like losers, which they're not doing that. So let's go.
So, are you telling me that you're only rooting for the Dodgers because sorry, you're only
The
rooting for
Dodgers.
the Blue Jays? The Blue Jays because they're going to the Super Bowl?
I'm
Is that
telling
what you
you,
said?
I'm only rooting for anyone because the Blue Jays, Toronto is going to the World Series. Correct.
Oh, okay. I mean, you can get a pass for that one, I suppose, because you're from Toronto and all of that. But Mr. G, Black Simon, how you doing, big dog?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm good. Chilling out, chilling out. I am not watching professional baseball, but it's
Why, hold on. All
still
right.
nice to
What's
see.
your beef, bro? What why you don't
I
like
don't
the Blue
follow it.
Jays?
I don't follow any professional sports. That too tough. I think it's a distraction. That's my honest
Oh
belief.
man.
I'd rather watch somebody paint.
Oh man. He said I'd rather watch paint dry than watch sports. That's crazy, man. I'm sorry you feel that way.
Preferably an artist, like an artist, not like walls, but I'd rather watch. I'd rather watch,
Hey,
someone create.
G
Not to say that
G,
athletes can't create. I just think they're overpaid and overwatched. And
you're not
Oh
wrong.
man.
He's not wrong. By the way, speaking of paint,
What?
yo, shout out. You can't even see this. Sorry about
Nope.
that.
That's what you
But
get for talking trash about athletes.
this is crew with who we got here today, JWyze, Eclipse out in Hamilton, just to the west of Toronto. So if you're,
yeah,
talking about the paint, we love the paint. And also, I get what you're saying with that. Like,
I'm
everyone's
like,
getting paid and you're going to sit there all season. Nah, I can't do that. Can't do that. But when Toronto's going wild, yo, the vibe is nice. And it's been 32 years, I think it was, like 30 plus years. So
yeah,
it's
yeah. That's dating us, bro. That's dating us.
Oh man, so
nevertheless,
People,
reality is
y'all was a little
reality,
youngest
yo.
then.
Honestly, when it comes to look, we talk about culture and things like that. A part of that dating stuff, nah, we're good. We age. We're,
Dating.
it's
How do
all
we go
right.
from
It's a
baseball to
part of
dating?
life, huh?
How do we go from baseball to dating?
You're dating us because 30 years ago,
Oh, you saying because it was dating in
and we
terms
were
of
there. We were
then
there
y'all
when
some
Toronto
fossils.
I,
Young Street
I,
was
lit,
a whole
I
different
literally,
thing.
I literally worked there. I have a World Series hat because I worked
Oh,
at
you worked at the Sky
the
Dome?
Sky Dome before it
Yo, people are
became
gonna
now.
give you
Okay.
another name for this building, this iconic building that was bought by a
Yeah,
company called Rogers. Forget about that. It's called the Sky Dome. It opens up and you could see the sky. The other day, the weekend was playing. I was on a cruise, a boat cruise on Lake Ontario, and you could just hear it, the music thundering out the top. No, no, sorry, it wasn't. It wasn't that dude. It was one of the pop female singers. Anyways, it
Taylor
was
Swift.
Taylor Swift in Toronto. Yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah.
we
And
don't even
so
want to.
it
We
it
don't want to
wasn't
touch
as
the
nice
Taylor
as
Swift
the
topic.
I made it,
Not this
huh?
week.
Huh?
We don't want to talk
Mhm.
about Taylor Swift. Not this week.
Nah, nah, nah. What's up, Rashanis? How you doing? What's the vibe?
What's up, fam? I'm so glad to be here right now. I'm just
Had some
listening. We
little
went
technical
from,
difficulties there a little bit, huh? Yeah, it's all good.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, but I got to get in. I got to get in. So, pardon
Internet
You're
me.
wasn't working.
in.
We know. She got the Canadian
Resolved.
internet.
Wait, not the
Resolved.
Canadian internet in America.
You cannot blame
No.
Canada for that.
Oh man.
Typical
Whoa,
Americans.
wait a second.
Oh
That whole
man, there
blackout,
it
that
is.
wasn't our fault. That was AWS. That's American.
Nah,
Amazon.
bro. I talked to
Jeff Bezos,
AWS
your boy.
and they blamed it on Rogers. They said it was Rogers' fault. I don't know who
What?
Roger is, but they said it was Rogers. It was
Roger's the worst. It might be Roger's fault.
I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised.
See,
Roger's
there
the
you go. That's what
worst.
I'm saying.
Yo,
It's possible.
Roger, I work to go on a tangent, but we want to play a JWyze tune. Big up JWyze in the building, dropping material, doing IRL event Oh, I wish I was there in the person, but I know it was live. We're gonna play a little clip, but we're gonna play a tune. So I want to welcome JWyze. Tell y'all you got to go and check out these tunes. We're gonna be doing an interview, but first I have a little Roger story. Just so y'all in America, because half of our crew is U.S. side. We got people who check us, across the map because we're Pan-African. That's how we roll. Roger, watch out for Roger. Bought this iconic dome, the scrotum to the phallic CN Tower, and it decides, one, I want to name it after myself. Why? What's with these people just buying something that they didn't build and deciding that they want to put their name on it? Like, calm down, it's fine, it's okay. And then almost saying, oh, maybe we should tear it down. And people were like, what are you talking about? It's a dope, very particular architecture and an iconic building in the city. And so they had to scrap that. The point being,
not only the city,
Roger,
the world. It's iconic in the world. It's one of the few domes that open.
Shaughnessy, we'll walk down by there. Like, really, when you roll up, you're
can't wait.
Damn, like they've got fans that are like cheering and giant statues on the side of this giant building right beside the CN Tower. The railway rolls by there. It's like, yo, it's like why firstly rename it after yourself? Like, we've got enough things by that name. By the way, one of the schools where I went to school at Toronto Metropolitan University, they actually have a building named by, a couple buildings at least. Anyways, but it's Sky Dome. So as much as when you look at your Google map, or Shaughnessy, when you come to Toronto soon, just don't watch that. It's not called that. It's called the Sky Dome. All right.
Okay.
I had to get that out of my system.
I'm glad we learned something. That's what we do here on Talk Show on Point. Okay, so what we doing? Well, we about to bump some JWyze. I've really been bumping to it all day, man. Like all type of flows. I mean, don't get me started.
Yeah. We're gonna jump into this JWyze. We was gonna play another one, but then Mr. Symbolic mentioned the pedigree, and so now we're gonna play the pedigree.
You're switching it up? No, play the other one. We're focusing on Carnival of Souls. Y'all gotta go out, pick up Carnival of Souls. I got mine. You gotta get yours. What's up, JWyze?
JWyze in the building.
Good night. Good night. Blessings.
Perfect.
All right, we got this JWyze. This one's called Intermission. We'll actually bring the video up too. That'll just take me a little second here, but we got the audio.
No problem.
So it's been crazy, right? I know. We seeing it's a Carnival of Souls. We seeing them in all kinds of states, all different types of souls, different types of people going through different type of things. We try to represent all that, but right about now we're gonna take a break. All type of souls right now. It's more like all type of flows. When people see it, they get all type of froze. Always take time when they talk like your bros. Call you outside, then they spray like a hose. Dystopia will keep you on your toes. That's why we don't trust skin deep Negroes. Cause ain't sweet round here since the O's. Don't wanna be a clown in this Carnival of Souls. Whoa. All type of rhythm, and we pushing any dope that we can fit in here. Disrespect and pay the penance, you gon' fill it with a bass. Meet the kick, can't escape, it's in the air. I'm incendiary, I think we should burn it down. Then reform it when it's ashes laying on the ground. Look, performing, I ain't with the circus. No way. Cause even Big Top ain't worth it in the mission. Okay, in a mission for you. Come on. Like that sense of Miller when you hear this. Come on. The carnival returning in a minute. Come on. Let the rhythm take you along with it. Okay, in a mission for you misses. Come on. Fire. Like that scented candle when you hear this. The carnival returning in a minute. Come on. Let the rhythm take you along.
Send out those invites.
Ready with some veggies and a lighter. Close your eyes and take a listen to the writer. Listen rhythm with your foot up in recliner chair. You know how to get to heaven, you gon' find it where you build it. Easy for a minute, hear me kill it. Breezy on the beat and then I'm bossy, I would spill it. Never been a tattle, but a tale I could tell it. I tell like I nail it, a spell like I spell it. Raise your guns into the air and hail a renegade. Busting shots into the ceiling as you burn your grave. Bring the thunder if they try to make us underpay. Take a second, yo, this is where I wanna stay. Golden eagle flying, black star luminescent. Yes, we omnipotent, over worlds omnipresent. Flexing, sevens, blessings, bridging them. taking in a mission for the present. Okay, in a mission for you. Like that sense of Miller when you hear this. Right. The carnival returning in a minute. Let the rhythm take you along with it. Come on. Okay, in a mission for you misses. Like that scented candle when you hear this. The carnival returning in a minute. Right. Let the rhythm take you along with it. Okay.
Video's nice too. Just good vibes. Yo, we are going to get in it with JWyze, who is our special guest on Talk Show on Point.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna have one segment, which is the What's Up with our guy Black Simon. First, you're welcome to jump in terms of what you may know about any of the subjects that come up. But Black Simon, what's up?
Yo, I'm gonna connect something back first. Yo, do you recognize that street?
That street? Isn't it?
Yeah, okay.
Isn't it?
Yeah. You know where he almost starts? He almost starts right at the beginning of that video. He almost starts in front of a very under famous studio. I know some MCs on this
Old school
panel.
Cryptic Souls you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, by that like paramedic building, the paramedic.
Yeah, it was a block. Yeah, it was a block.
Dufferin.
Just one more block. Yeah, Dufferin and Queen.
Yeah, we know the spots that because that's right by. Shout out. Color. I'm gonna assume that Color had something to do with that video.
Yeah, well, Color produced the whole album. He shot.
What?
Yeah, the whole album is produced by Color.
Wow.
Color Brown.
That's what's
Color
up.
Brown. Color
the whole album.
Barbershop.
That's what's up.
If you need to get sharp, that's where I go. If you're in Toronto and you need to get sharp, multi-talent Imhotep, bro. Color Brown on the production. All right.
Mm-hmm. And he shot the video as well.
Oh, that is dope.
That's my type of dude right
that's
there.
the soul of the city. That's the soul of the city right there.
Yeah, that's Parkdale.
That is definitely. That's Parkdale.
Street. You know, for the American fam, I just wanted to. It just dawned on me. Someone mentioned like y'all don't really have Queen Street and King Street in the U.S. You know, some of the things that are like nuances. Like, of course you don't. You're like, snap that. You might soon though. Anyways, all right. So yeah, Queen Street shout out. Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll get into it. My What's Up, the first part of What's Up this week is, do you have cue that video? And it's just, I believe it's on the AI stuff. A lot of people are starting to get duped. We'll let this brother.
Oh, this one's crazy.
There are fully AI-generated accounts on this platform now, like full face, full video, and they're also pretending and masquerading to be black people. I'm going to show you these videos and tell you why it's a problem. Everybody's talking about the DoorDash girl. I was looking at certain videos and I came across this one.
I saw the original video of the DoorDash girl, and I'm a little bit confused now that I woke up and see everything that's happening. When I saw it, I said, hey, I understand why DoorDash, well, I guess fired you, and why you're blocked from the app. Now, as for the guy.
That's a little weird, right? Why are they saying the same thing in a very similar tone and a very similar cadence? Is there a script? Is somebody copying somebody? Or is that video on the right fucking AI? Is it AI? And not just that video, her entire fucking page is artificial intelligence generated video. Okay? Now, when you look at the page, you can kind of tell it's just gibberish. There's no like links or anything, no name. But when you just scroll by these videos, it's pretty hard to tell unless you're really paying attention to how she speaks.
I watched this video like 15 times before I realized it was AI. And the thing that gave it away, I legit watched this video like 15 times before I realized it was AI.
I think that's the original one. I'm pretty sure that's the original one. Oh, but it's not just her.
Y'all, please tell me you've seen that video of the bride saying, "You can't hurt me. This is what my mother-in-law bought to wear to our wedding." And baby, it was a whole wedding gown. Y'all, please tell me you've seen that video of the bride saying, "You can't hurt me. This is what my mother-in-law bought to wear to our wedding." And baby, it was a whole wedding gown.
So let's break this down. On a major level, people are making videos and content, and the AI is just kind of downloading that video, transcribing it, and then generating a fake person, and then another fake video in the background, by the way. If you do notice, those last two clips had two different videos in the background. And then even the train one was different from the original one that I had showed you. So they're also now generating a fake video of that in the background, and you really can't tell the difference. Not only are they like, stealing content and farming whatever, and now this account has 200,000 fucking likes from just stealing content. Sure, whatever. Think about the fucking implications of what you just saw. You can go search up those creators and see people stitching them as if they're real creators. Now, the content is real for now, but even the content there is AI generated. How long until they bring up some bullshit that never fucking happened? And it's insane that they're doing this with black people and specifically black women. This is the worst it's going to be, by the way. I know you might be like, well, I can actually tell because she's not moving that much and she's keep giving them notes on what to change. Every issue that we say this has, they eventually will fix. They're, back in the day when ChatGPT was like, oh, you got 4 fingers, 6 fingers. They have 5 fingers now. It's all good. They will fix this and they will make it bad. Think about the implications of being able to just, this is most likely a real woman's face. Or an amalgamation of 2 or 3 real women. And it's most likely that woman's same voice. You can literally have anybody say whatever you want and start a narrative. And then you can have a fake background in the back saying that this is real. They can say, wow, look at all these 8 black people jumping this white baby in Colorado. And then they'll have 10 other accounts make the same video. And you're going to keep scrolling. You're going to be like, man, actually, that must have happened. Even with this DoorDash video, a lot of people are talking about a video that no one has ever seen before. Now imagine if you could make that video appear in real time. We're cooked, bro. We're cooked.
I actually remember watching, and I could have sworn he mentioned this, but maybe he did mention. I might have just missed it. But like, if you go and you look at like, let's see, just trying to find one of the videos. So like this video, right? And then if you go back to the one that was being imitated, it's a completely different video. Like there's two completely different women, and like the video is like the same, like it's the same story, but the videos that are being shown in the background that the person's narrating are 2 completely different videos. That's crazy. It's the same story, 2 completely different situations in terms of what's being shown.
We're going to have to really figure out this whole critical thinking about and analyzing of media because it's coming fast and it's coming quick and it's coming diabolical. Again, this is all toying with our perceptions of reality. Now, when we see a body cam, and I'm going to say this about body cam videos, there is a ton on TikTok of fake body cam videos.
Oh,
and they're not even AI generated. There are people who are filming fake interactions with police and pretending that they are real interactions with police.
So you mean they're acting?
They're acting, yes. So, and then you layer on the AI portion of that. Again, the construction of narratives is going to be, oh, that didn't really happen. That's not real.
The assumption of everything is fake, like the impact that it has on people seeing anything, it could be real or not real. You have the immediate fake news, not real, or even the question. Yeah, it's dangerous. We're in some dangerous times.
So that's what's up for that portion. I don't know if anyone else wants to say anything about fake AI generated black people. There is way more on that.
Oh, we didn't even mention that. The fact that it's our people.
It's being targeted at us. Yes.
That is extra terrible. Like, because we could just be puppeteered. They're already like paying the worst of us to represent us as excellence to do the worst of things. But now you could just type in a prompt, put whatever you want. And especially if someone's prone to want to believe, that's the other thing. Because there's stuff that, for example, there's Traore stuff out there that I'm like, some doesn't look right. I look it up and it's wrong. It's not Correct.
Exactly.
Because you want to believe certain things. So someone that wants to hate on black people, they see some nonsense. Not to mention the fact that again they've got the worst of us. So I gotta say big up to JWyze dropping this album with such lyricism, thoughtfulness, upliftment for the people. You know what I mean? So yeah, it also I think punctuates the importance of human crafted material, of the work. And again, there was an event just recently, IRL. I feel so bad that I wasn't able to be in the house, but that's another important part of it. Just like when we link up, hopefully when Rashanis comes to TO, we'll check JWyze, we'll check Color, you know what I mean? Maybe G will come down from out of the hills and do something physical. Is super
Hills
important.
have eyes. The hills have eyes.
Out in Oshawa, the dirty schwa. All right, yeah, man. What
well,
else
the
you
only other
got?
thing I was going to say real quick. I'm
Mm.
sorry. G, what were you about to say?
No. Please.
Yeah, real quick. I was going to say there were, again, you guys know I always talk about the dialectical paradigm shift. I can chart it prior to, there's a timeline. iPhone launch, I mean, even before BlackBerry. So there's a timeline there. But the ways in which we have moved language and thus ridden the trends. So I'm looking at sister right now, who is obviously not real. The fact that she has on a bonnet, like when you start to think about the ways in which we pillage culture, because again, we're doing what we do. We're free. We desire to be a free people, and we're highly creative. We're expressive. So we're just online. We're just online talking, right? We're just online doing the things and cooking food and doing all the stuff, right? Because again, these are the lanes that they build for us to follow. And we do it and we're surprised at these results. Like I want us to stop being surprised. That's the first thing. Number two, I want us to stop participating in that way. It's so much more unfortunate because when you think about the artistry, and we just watched JWyze video, right? So knowing that they have the capability to duplicate that, he walking down the street, I mean, just the same thing. That is what is problematic. It's always been problematic. It's okay. So you can, like Symbolic and I talked about, you can rip my style. You can rip, I mean, just my mannerisms, my intonation, the way I say, hey girl, and then I code switch, the ways that I do everything because I've given you permission to use that data by sharing it on your platform.
Your lightness.
Everything. So what I've said in the meantime is, yeah, we're talking about our voice, our creativity is IP. And if we want to play the game, we have to play the game with resources. Trademark your voice. You can use that shit if you want to. I'm taking your ass to court. I'm playing with you.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. You know, sister with a bonnet on. Like that is the epitome of just our culture. Like why Sway? Why? But this is what we do. We voluntarily do it because we're told, okay, you can make some money real quick. It goes back to economics. It goes back to the politics. It goes back to the fifth element. It goes back to everything that we talk about on this show. We have to lock our shit down.
True.
That's it.
Hey, last week we talked about Ghana trademarking the kente cloth. Those types of moves, it's true. Within there, while I would say it should just easily be not legal to just say it's like saying, oh, but this is different than slavery, but they're going to do the digital version of the same maneuver, slavery, taking your data and saying you don't need to get anything from it, or I could do whatever with your image, your data. When Brethren bought Twitter, what's his face? The first thing I heard, one of the quotes from him is, oh, they're stealing my data. Who in their mind thinks that way when they know it's someone else's communication? Like, it's an enslaver is the answer. So yeah, I think you're on the right track in terms of the tangibles we like to go to. We need to, and we'll follow that because that's what we really do need to do on these levels is protect ourselves and then move towards, like I always say, I do not consent. LLM or AI. I'm not consenting just because I'm talking on a platform just to be like, oh, well, no, we are obviously it's under duress. So one day in the future, we're going to straighten out some of these uh, completely incorrect things. So yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, I would just
So just
quickly, sorry, bro.
go ahead. Go
I would
ahead.
just quickly say, like, you know, to me, the important thing is because we can't really expect the law or anything like that to help us because, you know what I mean? The people who make the laws are dedicated to robbing us. So
Very much so.
I think one thing that's important for us is just to teach our children, you know, real media literacy and critical thinking, and to ask questions like, okay, this thing that I'm seeing, you know, who generated this image? What do they benefit? Who benefits from me seeing this? What is the message being given? Teaching our kids critical thinking and media literacy to ask questions and to question the things that are presented to them, I think is probably the most important thing we can do right now, because this stuff is happening. It's already, you know what I mean? It's already entrenched. So what we have to do is teach our children how to navigate it, even as we build our own systems.
I agree, but one thing I will say is, as much as holistically, when you look at the civil rights, now we're seeing the longer term pendulum swing and so forth. But it was a part, the legal. So I would say that's like the trademarking. If we completely say their law will not help us at all, no, like that's an arena. It's definitely a lesser arena than the fullness of what's going on. But I do think that we need to have those areas that we battle as well. But yeah, absolutely, the media literacy is a huge one because they are going to do some wickedness on the tricking people, by just putting out stuff that is just not true. Or yeah.
I was just gonna say we can also flip the script. There's also creative ways of fighting back. I don't know if anyone's seen like those man on the street, these Charlie Kirk kind of clones that they've had out there. Those people who are like they stick a microphone and then ask you a racist question, and then black people are supposed to respond to racist questions. It's actually come up in a lot of protests throughout the United States, but people have been banding together and coming up with creative ways to battle against that. And the way that they came up was playing Disney tunes, like Disney music, full blast when they come up, because they can't put that video now onto YouTube to monetize it, because Disney will sue them because they're hearing Disney music. And you can do that with other extremely big artists like Taylor Swift or somebody who is litigious. So you can use that to kind of get to get back at them and use their own system to kind of feedback on themselves. So I just more ideas like that, using their own not their own, but using other things that we know are against their laws to prevent them from using us in their craziness and foolishness. But I was going to move on to the next topic. Does anyone else want to say anything? IV, you want to say anything on the topic?
Nah, I'm good. I think we did you guys did that one justice. I don't want to stretch it along, but yeah, we can move on to the next topic.
So the next thing I have is, of course, the sadder thing of the things, because I think I just bring a lot of sad things to the table when I'm on the show. But we gotta stay
we're in some
informed.
pretty sad times in some ways, dude. I don't think you can take full credit for that.
But the passing of the Most High, the greatest man, D'Angelo died, and all I can say is he changed my life. The music that he made changed my life. It changed the way I thought. But I thought this piece was really nice to talk about and giving him his flowers, as they say, because he deserved them in the most highest way. So if you want to play that piece right now, we can listen to what this guy said about it.
Over a 5-year period, and he described it to me as like going to Soul Music University. There were classes, there were pranks, there was gossip, there was discipline, and there was laziness. D'Angelo said, I ain't never went to college, so this was my equivalent. He said, after Brown Sugar, I lost all my enthusiasm to do this. I could do without going to 7-Eleven at 3 in the morning for some cigarettes and getting swole. It's my love of music. I had to say to myself, even if I didn't do this, like have a record deal and all that, I'd still be fucking with music. So here's how they made the album. Around 4 p.m., they'd all come together at Electric Lady, D'Angelo, Questlove, and all the players who were working with them. But they'd spend like 4 to 7 watching a video of one of the soul music legends they love and then playing an album or the whole catalog of that soul music legend. In 96, they focused on Prince. In 97, they focused on Hendrix and the Reverend Al Green. In 98, it was a lot of Marvin Gaye and George Clinton. In 99, James Brown and Fela Kuti. They would have had this album done in about 2.5, 3 years if they didn't spend half the day listening and watching soul music legends. After watching and playing, they'd get together and just jam and just see what happened. And quite often, grooves would come out of the jamming and they'd say, okay, zone in on that, let's make something around that. At 1 a.m., they'd break for dinner and go to the very divey Waverly Diner, which is around the corner from Electric Lady. Questlove said one of the marvels of life was how this motherfucker could eat a bunch of eggs and pancakes and still be ready for Untitled. Quest said money was definitely overweight by 96, so they got him a trainer. The trainer had D'Angelo running in Central Park, sparring, doing push-ups, in the weight room. He was working with this guy every day through those 5 years. Around 2 a.m., they'd get back from the Waverly Diner and watch the soul music legend video again. And then they'd work on a new song from about 3 a.m. to about 5 a.m. This way, they created about 120 hours of music that's not on Voodoo.
Damn, that's a lot of music.
I just wanted to say that we talk a lot about artists and how they build their craft, but a lot of time we don't focus on the journey that they go on to produce that music. And I'm so glad that we have JWyze, and maybe you can speak on it, and also Rashanis and Symbolic and Ivy to talk about how their musical journey, you know, what they go through, and just hearing that how much he listened, and then to other artists that inspired him, and then played their music, and then iterated is for years. It's for me, that speaks to how the artist's craft is almost never done. It's almost always evolving, always changing, but also taking in some of the old stuff. And it was very, very humbling to me to hear that that's what he went through to make that album, which was, you know, amazing.
Yeah, I definitely want to go in on Carnival of Souls with JWyze about some of those things in terms of the environment, the meanings, and inspirations, and so forth. But as far as that video, which I didn't realize that was their process, it's one side, it reminds me of something that I think about a good amount, and we've talked about it on the show, which is lineage. And when they, with this disposable culture, that they try and just say, well, we're going to decide what your culture is. We're going to make, whether it's whether it's music, whether it's fast fashion, whatever it is, it is with no respect to that lineage and culture. So it was really good to see those people, knowing that this is Black music. I always go back and remind myself and y'all about the time when they decided Black music isn't Black music anymore. Regardless of the name, you can look at the people and the culture and see lineage is something that is in that. And I heard that he pushed back on that terminology of urban music, which I feel like we should dash that. We're not urban people. If anything, that just disconnects us from the land and our indigenous nature. So Yeah, that's what comes to mind is like when you look at those people and you look at that respect, and it speaks to a lineage that is super important. So as we move forward, it's like when we look back, just like we were going to ask our first question of JWyze. Is it good for me to go ahead, or do y'all have something? If you or anyone else wants to speak to anything first on that last one, please do go ahead.
Oh, I just want to point out mm, the understanding the creative process was definitely inspirational. It was beyond. It really does speak to the testament of being an artist and having the desire to stretch as an artist. I know I can say for me, I have no desire to stay in one lane. That's why I produce multiple genres. I mean, even in terms of my vocals, like I can't do the same thing, but that's me and my own personal desire to stretch. So the fact that he spent the time, he invested the time to study, to show thyself approved, and to pay homage, like you said, we talked about lineage, and to pay homage, because you have to understand that there are greats that came before you, not so much as I'm standing on your shoulders type thing, but as inspiration. Why not give back? That to me is a true testament of artistry. The other thing that I really want to touch on, and it's not just a must have because I'm on a show with all brothers. It really is how we need to start to shift conversations about where we are in our head, even as artists. I mean, I think personally, I think artists struggle. You may struggle the most. But knowing that D'Angelo said, like, I could do without going to 7-Eleven, and, I can do without this, how he was pillaged, like he was constantly sought for his body. Like he's up, on stage giving it all. And they're like, take your shirt off. I mean, he struggled with that. And he said before he transitioned blatantly that Angie helped him through that, and encouraged him to keep making music because he was just ready to give up. And I, as someone who loves music more than anything, I can't even imagine. Yes, I can. How not being able to do the thing that you love and sharing it, because you can do it for yourself. You can do it. You can have your whole studio set up and you can never do anything else. You can never share it. But that gifts are meant to be shared. So the fact that he felt that he wouldn't be able to share it because people are more concerned with his physique, I could see why he would continue to eat pancakes and eggs. I could see why eventually it became about a trainer, because the focus is not my music, the very thing that blood, sweat, and tears, heart and soul is invested in. I could see how it would taper off. Last thing is, when I discovered what he transitioned from, as an herbalist, I'm always looking at root cause, and it was pancreatic cancer. And for those of us who are familiar with the body and the organs and how they hold energy, when I saw that, I was just like, oh, it just made me so sad, because we know that all dis-ease is just that, it's dis-ease and it's perpetual. The fact that it was his pancreas, and said there was a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry, a lot of stress, and not being able to break down sugars, not being able to do, the body not being able to do what it's supposed to do. And you have art, that in itself was really disturbing. And seeing that post that talked about, that listed all the hip hop artists, who have Fife and Craig Mack, that didn't make it to 60, it speaks to not just the physical health of Black men, but the mental health of Black men. And it's concerning. It's beyond concerning. We really do, because hate culture is real. Is another thing the internet perpetuates. Women hate men, men hate women, white versus Black. Like, we're constantly in this conflict theory, because that the system thrives on conflict theory. But we got to do a better job of making sure brothers are okay. And I learned a long time ago through womanism that brothers have to do that work. Like, are you okay? I'm here if you want to talk. I can do all of that, But at the end of the day, there are certain things that a man is never going to tell me. So I do want us to focus on yeah, the artistry is one issue, but not being able to do what you love and have the stresses and the strains around being able to do what you love freely, it affects us more than we know. And it eventually it sets up as physical. And that's what we don't want. We already out here fighting to see another day. So to go out like that, it's just like, man, we got to take better care of ourselves and each other. So that's my 2 cents.
Thank you so much for that.
So my thoughts are much more brief. But I really appreciate how they took the time. They took 5 years and really, really kind of dove into each of their favorite artists or that specific artist for that time period. I really appreciate that because that shows like real dedication to the craft and real dedication to the art. And they took their time, they studied, they played and they did it every day and they did it for years and then they were able to create a timeless piece of music, and that's just something that you don't really see a lot of nowadays. I mean, some people do it, some people take their time, other people don't as much. um but really studying the craft and understanding and trying to find the feel and direction that you want to take with your art and what message you want to send, all of those different components to creating a body of work is really inspiring to see. And it's like and it really kind of shows you like, dang, maybe I shouldn't stop working on that thing that I was working on, because it does take time for you to understand, sometimes to just to gain clarity about what you actually want to do. People go 4 years in college and really end up and don't end up doing the thing that they went to for college for 4 years to do, and that's okay, right? So yeah, I just really appreciated the dedication that they had to the art. So that's all I got for it. I think it's time to do a little bit of question and answer.
Yo,
And
I just want to give yeah, definitely we do. I just want to give a shout out to people checking us on Twitch live as well as in the chats. Shout out Crystal Maria. Shout
Crystal
out. Thank you for
Maria.
sharing and thank you for being here. Dr. Smart from our Onaji fam is in the building. So shout out y'all.
Oh
Definitely if you
man.
have any questions for JWyze, if you have any questions for us or you have a comment, put it in the chat.
Once you stand there, people, once you get the energy that's still there, can I get a witness? Yeah. Those who witness, the energy is still there.
So JWyze, we did want to ask you. I'm sorry about me multitasking right now because I'm writing in like 3 different places, but we did collectively want to ask you a few questions, and once there are a couple questions that we ask everybody now, and one of them is, who would be an elder or an ancestor, we call that elder love, ancestor love, who has impacted or influenced you, and how?
Wow, there's so many. That's a wide question. We want to talk musically?
No, in your life, in any way that comes to mind. You can name more than one, just
Well, okay. If you said musically, it would have been easier. I
okay,
would
musically then. Say musically first.
Okay, musically, I would say probably my biggest influences are Stevie Wonder lyrically. To me, he's the best artist ever. That's my personal favorite. You know what I mean? I got no arguments with somebody who says somebody else. You know what? Stevie
But
is
no
my
one
is
can
my
say you have bad taste though when you say that.
nah. Stevie is my great.
He is the great. He's the goat of the goat.
Man.
You know what? I don't like to say definite things with subjective answers, but I agree with you 100%. Stevie's my favorite. But that being said, like his pen is something I really respect. You know what I mean? As much as his music, like the poetry that he writes, it's just amazing. You know what I mean? The way he phrases things, the visualness of his imagery and the metaphors that he uses. Yeah. So I would say Stevie Wonder. I would say Peter Tosh. is another one. Musically, just one of the people. Stepping Razor was, you know, the first time I heard, I'm a stepping razor, don't you watch my size, I'm dangerous. First time I heard that, I felt like something in it. I thought, oh, that's maybe some I could have wrote that, maybe. Not in terms of like, you know, the talent and the skill or the inspiration, but just in terms of what he was saying and how he felt, the feelings that he was expressing. That felt like that was the first thing I heard before I ever heard Public Enemy or NWA, that really just got something inside of me that I was just like, yeah, those are my people there. You know what I mean? So I would say Peter Tosh, Black Uhuru, Burning Spear. You know what I mean? All of the great reggae artists and bands really had a big influence. And then if you want to talk in other ways of life, I would say my grandmothers definitely
Call
were.
their names. Call their
You know what I
names. How
mean?
do you call them?
Yeah, you know, both of
How
them
are
were.
they known? How are they known? What are they known by? Let's say their name.
Well, it depends on who's is saying it. You know what I
True.
mean?
I mean the people, or let's say who they're known.
I would just say, you know what I mean?
Grandma.
My grandmothers are not people who really wanted their things on the internet or on Facebook or anything like that. So I won't. I'm not gonna call their names. I understand where you're coming from still,
No problem,
and I respect it to the fullest. But just knowing them, they didn't like that stuff. So that's why I don't have no pictures of them on FB or IG as much as I would love to. But yeah, both of them. You know what I mean? Both of them were powerful people. My grandmother on my father's side was a teacher and a musician, and in Antigua, she basically by 16 she was teaching, and she taught. After a while, she was teaching teachers across the island, and the legacy that she had is I could say that a lot of piano students, almost all of the piano students on the island who really did it and got their stuff, you know, past the grades, and they used to have to send the stuff to the UK to be graded, you know, that old colonial system, right? So, you know what I mean? Although my granny could have dealt with it all by herself, but to be officially graded, she'd have to send it to the UK and then it'll come back. And all those people who went through that process over a certain time pretty much went through my grandmother. So I definitely say, you know, her. And then on the other side, my grandmother, my mother's side, in Bermuda, was just a warrior, just the bravest person I ever met. I've never seen that woman. She's a tiny woman, but I've never seen her afraid of anything or anyone. And yeah, so I'd say definitely them. And then my parents and, you know, my dad, Eddie Nias, and my mom, Deborah Goins, Francis. Yeah, you know what I mean? Those were the people I would say.
Thank you. Big respects to them, and you know, you come through them, so you represent. We know that they're amazing because you stand before us as you know, you're
Appreciate
the
that, brother.
proof. Respects and thank you.
Appreciate that. You know, I try to rep them well.
Hey, you do, most definitely. So we've been taking in the album, and the album is Carnival of Souls.
Yes, sir.
And anyone wants to jump in, it's open, but I'll just have a couple of questions I wanted to ask, just in terms of the inspirations and some of the meanings, because even when you jump to an intermission, then you're not in the carnival. So what is this? What does it mean to you, and what inspired Carnival of Souls?
All right. So whoa.
I thought that was a part of the answer. I was like, damn, what's he doing?
Maybe it was the spirits wanted to talk, you know. The whole concept for the album, when I first sat down with Color Brown and we talked about it, the concept that I had was that I wanted to bring people into this like under the big top kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Like, you know, back in the days, I remember as a kid they used to have these tents, these big tents they would set up, you know what I mean? And they would have like these different evangelists would come, mostly from the States, you know what I mean? And they would come and they would set up these big tents and everybody would go in this big tent, and you know what I mean? It would be this whole big event, production, the music, singing, and then preaching and all that stuff. And, you know, and I'd seen a few circuses on TV and stuff, and I wanted to create that kind of atmosphere, you know what I mean? And the idea is that when you come into this album, you get to see all of these souls pass by on display. And the souls are the show. And it's a carnival. And they're being paraded in front of you, almost like you know, like circus performers. And I want to say a lot about the idea of entertainment now being based largely on pain, largely on messiness, largely on everything except music. So the very first song of the album is called Carnival of Souls, and the hook says, "Pain is entertainment in the Carnival of Souls, draw near." And yeah, so that's the concept of the album broadly. I want to display all these different types of souls, people that you see in the community. And whenever I'm making music, I'm making music talking to us, right? Like, that's my focus. Anybody else could jump in and enjoy and get what they get from it, but I'm really be talking to my people, right? So yeah, I wanted to display different types of souls that you see in the community and get to what's behind them, you know, get to some of the feeling that's in there. So that was the concept of the album.
Beautiful. Do any of y'all have a question, or should I just keep going?
No, I love it. So it's telling a story. I love the whole backstory of it. Especially with the carnival theme. Those folks really do. I mean, we're in that age right now where folks is clowning out here. So I love the theme. So no, symbolic. Please carry on.
All right. So you did mention Color Brown, epic poet MCee, you know, Imhotep in this. So that the other question I wanted to ask you about was like, you know, speak to the team that brought Carnival Souls. The brother who made this shirt, a very talented artist, rapper, organizer, community builder, I would say. Eclipse. I know you have a track with Eclipse, a remix of one of the tracks there. So I'm just wondering if you could speak to like the team that brought this together. If it's like, I take it that it was a lot of you working with Color Brown, but like that as well as having an event. Like what's the importance of your circles, your fams, and collaboration, if any?
Well, to me, music is a collaborative endeavor. You know what I mean? You can make music by yourself, of course. You know what I mean? But to me, most of the best music is made in collaboration, right? As far as the music on this album, it's 90% Color Brown and I sitting in the studio and, you know, just coming up with things. I do have, besides Color Brown, there's one other person featured on the album. His name, a young brother named O'Derrick. And he sings on a song I have called No Angels. And he sings the hook on that. But yeah, other than that, on this album, it's all of the music is produced by Color Brown. And then the other part to it is that in between each song, I have a musical interlude. And it's like, you know, soulful piano music, you know, soulish jazz kind of vibes. And that was done by a brother named Stevie Talent. And
Stevie Talent.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just, you know, working musician, you know what I mean? Wicked piano player, just very talented brother. And so once I had recorded all the songs, I went to him and said, Steve, I would like for you to compose something to go in between each piece to bridge them. So I would like for you to start in the key of the song that ended and end off in the key of the next song that's coming up.
That's dope.
And so he said, bet. And he took it. And then I got a call from him one day and he was like, Jay, oh man, I'm about to send you the stuff. I hope you don't mind. As I went on, I got more and more into it. So the pieces get longer as I go. And I was like, yeah, brother, that's, you know, we love that. So yeah, he did it and he sent it to me and I heard it and I loved it. 10 out of 10, no notes kind of vibes, and we just lined it all up and then went back in the studio and mixed it and mastered the album, and there we go. So musically, yeah, it was Color Brown producing the music. For one track, like for Outlaw Bank, which I think is like the third full song on the album, I went to him and I said, yo, I need a beat that sounds like this. And I made a bunch of noise. And he's like, all right. And he sat there and he built the music. And while he was building, I was writing. And, that's pretty much the process for all of it, except that's the only one where I said I want something that sounds like this. The rest of the time, it was mostly him playing music for me. And when I heard something that fit where I was trying to go at that time, then I'll say, okay, yo, hold that one for me, you know what I mean? And then, yeah, we build around it. And it's crazy that, big up Black Simon, because it's crazy that you played that clip, because I had actually read that before we started working on the album. And even though that wasn't my process, we talked about that in the studio before we started recording. We had like maybe about a half hour, 45-minute conversation just about that process and how they went through it and boom, boom, boom. And then, I started thinking about, well, how do I want to do this? And my approach was actually kind of the opposite, in that I stopped listening to all rap. So from 2023, like mid 2023 to sometime in 2024, I didn't listen to any hip hop. If there was rapping on it, I didn't want to hear it. Because I wanted so much to be in my own patterns and my own flows. And whatever you hear influences you. You know what I mean? Like we're human beings. It's natural, right? But I wanted to be as uninfluenced in terms of my rhyme patterns as possible.
Beautiful. Hey, I sent a message to show that album cover, so that as you were talking about it previously, Ivy produced, you got all that tech on your face, you don't see the message. You see the message I'm talking about? Check the WhatsApp there. Just hit the.
I saw it come through. Oh, wait.
Okay. Hit the like, just so we can see it for 1 second. And then I'm gonna share
I didn't see that. My bad.
No probs. And I'm gonna share just the next a clip of the live event, which I want to ask you about right after we view this little clip that we got from your IG, so you know what's coming, JWyze. And while he does that, I just wanted to reminisce. We've had Twitter Spaces where you jumped on. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Carnival of Souls. So that's the vibe. Oh, I saw you give credits in the past. Who was the photographer? You talked about that before.
Yeah, the photographer was a brother named Jelani Morgan. Wicked photographer. He does a lot of Blue Jays photography, actually. I heard you guys talking about that earlier. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's a wicked photographer all around. And he had done a series where I had seen a lot of his work, and years ago I just decided, hey, when I have a chance, me and this bro are gonna work, And then yeah, once I figured out what I wanted for the album, I linked up with a makeup artist. Her name is L St. Aubin. And I think her Instagram is L St. Aubin Beauty. But she was, as you can see, super talented. And so then the three of us just got on the phone. And then that's where my man Eclipse really helped out, because he actually found a theater that basically gave us the space and was just like, yeah, when y'all put out the pictures, just, let people know they were shot here. And so, yeah, we went to this theater one day and we set up on the stage and we took a gang of photos. We were out there for maybe 2-3 hours just doing this shoot. And then
so now you got to tell us what the name of the theater is. You got to pay them their
I wish I
big
remembered. No, I'd have to
later,
go
later,
next time. I'll look for it and let y'all know.
All right, cool.
But it was a spot in Hamilton, yeah. And
okay.
Yeah, it was, you know.
Yo, it is wicked. That is the vibe right there. Like that
Yeah,
carnival vibe, the
I was
deep,
happy with it.
dark, mysterious. It's dope.
Yeah, and even that was dope. Jelani Morgan hit me with a question I wasn't expecting, and he was like, "Okay, this person that's on the cover, what's their name? And
Mm,
like, what's their story?"
mm.
So that was the homework he gave me before we did the shoot. You know what I mean? So I had to go and create this whole lore behind this
Oh,
ringmaster. You know what I mean? And so
oh man.
yeah, that was dope too. You know, it's just the whole process coming together. It's a lot of just a lot of building on this idea. And as what happens with ideas, you know what I mean? It's like the opposite. You know, you put spinach in water and it shrink. It's like the opposite. You know, it's like you put the idea out there and it just grows. And that's what happened.
Nice. All right. Let's check out the release, this little clip. Toronto. Shout out Rock Smart.
I'm the coldest winter. Salute the sister soldier, I'm a polar ninja. Uninterested in your monologue, it should be in a uninvested on the force field carpenter. Ooh, nigga. Since you missed the long side, I must convince you that you got the wrong. Now you're big before you die, your tribe will stitch you with the Kieran, even prickly dog. Stepping on my vibe with the oversharing. Overstand the mannerism, west swing mirroring. Same confessions for the altar, placing God's hearing. Word of Julie, black for Julie at the gospel. Like if you want to spread your word, you need a possible. The type that won't want to bloody up your nostrils. And we avoid this conversation getting hostile. Cause we don't need no level up. We need a level with the fuck away. Now you can miss me. Come on. You can miss me. You with your bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That song is actually not on this album. That song's from the last
Right.
album. But
Right.
it was a listening party, right? So we actually played the whole album in the spot for folks. But before that, you know, I can't have other people perform and I don't perform, right? So I came on and did songs that weren't on the album. So mostly songs from the previous album. And that singing the hook there was Color Brown. That song Miss Me was like, I think the lead single from my last album.
And you got a video for that. That is a dope song as well, obviously. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, respect. No, that looked like a vibe. So
yeah, it was a fun night, man. We really had fun. And the best part of the night was when I took off that ringmaster jacket and bow tie and stuff and was able to like not be sweating as much, you know what I mean? But it was a great night, man. We really had a good time.
Good.
And
good.
Color Brown performed, brother named Cyclone Twist performed, and then we had 4 DJs, Despair, DTS, Shortcut, and PV. And they all just went in, and yeah, we had a great night. We partied until like 2 o'clock.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, anyone have any points you'd like to jump in with? So I only have 2 more questions for you.
Oh, well, congratulations first up. Like,
thank you much.
The collaboration resonates. So it's always good to see, us doing what we do with others who love it just as much as we do. So congratulations. It looks like y'all had a really good time.
Yeah, man, we did.
Phenomenal. So
Appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. I have some questions later, Symbolic, after you run. I'm not sure if G had something else, but yeah, I got some questions later.
G?
No, I don't have any questions. I just congratulations to you, sir. That is a dope mix. I love all of that. It's it's popping. It's popping. It's hot.
Carnival of Souls, y'all. Go check it out. JWyze. It's easy. There's a link in the talk show on point. You can just click that, go right there, support it. It's dope. You can listen to it first anyways. I was gonna ask you about that piano player, so you just naturally went into it. It's obviously yeah, it's obviously like yo, and then you listen to a song or two and then you hear, or is it every single song? But yeah, it just the thematically just flows through the whole work.
Yeah, in my mind, I imagine that after we display the souls, the music is a soul passing, you know.
Ah, nice. Nice. So we talk tech and culture with soul. Us being anywhere we're gonna be, it's gonna be with soul. So we did want to ask you the question, what is a technology that you use every day or frequently?
I mean, besides my phone, I would say every day or frequently. Let's see.
It could be an app. It could be an app.
What do you do on your phone every day? Or what is
yeah, my phone's where I do the most stuff in terms of like editing, writing.
You do your editing on your phone?
In terms of editing for like video content and like, when you're pushing your content to push your material or making clips out of like even that clip that just from the show.
What's
I
the
edited
app
it on my phone.
Yeah, what's the app that you use?
I usually use either CapCut or iMovie, whichever one is asking me for the least access to the rest of my phone at the time.
Oh man, he's access to the rest of his phone.
Wait, what do you mean by that? I think I understand what you mean, but what do you mean?
Yeah, because they'd be like, oh, we can't edit your stuff unless we have access to your whole photo roll. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense to me. But what I found is that a lot of times when you first start using the app, they don't ask for everything. And then as you go on to get to a point, they'll be like, oh, we need all your stuff. You know what I mean? And so a lot of times, like I'll use the app and then I'll delete it and then I'll re-download it and see how far I could get. But lately, I don't know. I think they're on to me because it's been harder to use that. So then what I'll do is I'll give them the access. I'll do what I have to do, and then I'll take the access away. But I mean, I know it's kind of futile anyways, but we still have to do these things. So at least we have the pretense of privacy.
Oh man.
Yeah, and that effort, you gotta put in the effort. So don't, if don't be disheartened like they're gonna get it anyways. I mean, yeah, I hear you. But at the same time,
I'll be real with you, right?
Brother, they got it already. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They already got it.
I'm a man who I spend a lot of time on the block, right? And so one thing I know, like when they developed, what was something they did the other day, they developed, and I was talking to a guy and we were talking about them dropping the nuclear bomb in Hiroshima, right? And they were saying like, oh, do you know why it happened? And he was giving me this whole historical thing. And, I let him roll. I listened to the whole thing. And then when he was done, I said, you know why they used it? And he said, why? I said, because they had it.
Because they could, yep.
You know what I mean? It's like that line in Juice where Pac takes the gun from the curly hair and curly hair goes, Pac says, I'm keeping the gun. And curly hair goes, why do you get to keep the gun? And Pac says, because I have the gun. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, that's why, like, as much as, I agree with y'all that, like, we do whatever we can within the law to mitigate certain things, I never operate under the assumption that, people who can won't, because they will.
Like, and that's kind of like almost like a theme with our current presidency. It's like, yeah, that's against the law, right? Number one, do they care? Number two, are we going to do anything about it? The answers to both of those questions are very likely no. So,
have you heard the story of the man, the wolf, and the horse?
Not the man, the wolf, and the horse. I've not.
All right. So there was a man and there was a horse in this forest, and they were getting terrorized by this wolf. The wolf was just terrorizing both of them. So one day they came together and they're like, yo, we got to band together and do something about this. So the man had an idea. He said, listen, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put this thing on your back like a blanket, and I'm going to tie this rope around you, and then we're going to ride out. And with me on your back, I'm going to have a stick, and we're going to chase the wolf out of the forest. So the horse was like, all right, great plan. So the man hops on. They ride out. They find the wolf. They chase him out of the forest. Then when it's done, the horse says, okay, well, it's done. We chased him out of the forest. Get off my back. And you know what the man said? He said, giddy up.
Yeah, that actually reminds me of another story. I think it's the wolf and the crane, I want to say. And the wolf's like, hey, bro, help me get this thing on my throat. Like, I'm gonna open up and you go in there and grab it. And he's like, I'm gonna pay you good. And the crane's like, all right, bet. So he go in there, he reaches beak in there, he pull the thing out the was it the wolf's throat, right?
Mm.
And then uh he's like, oh man, that's great, thank you. And the crane's like, what about my payment? He's like, bruh, you just stuck your head down my neck and I didn't bite your head off. That's your payment.
And you got paid, huh?
Your payment is you being alive right now, and to be able to go and tell your homies that you was able to stick your head down a wolf's throat and not get your head bit off. Get out my face, or you get your head bit off.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's
Yo,
yeah.
I love the stories. I love the stories. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to that. Just give me the one more time. What's the tech that you would say? I think I meant you were saying something like the editing tool. What would be
Yeah, editing tools on my phone, definitely. The Notes app is a tech I use every day because I write lyrics in there a lot of the time. Another technology that I would say I use every day, I use a lot of Bluetooth because I love speakers and I like to hear music full. I don't like headphones as much as I like speakers. So I walk around with a lot of, I can just be pulling, you know what I'm saying?
The Bluetooth is cooking your
Speakers.
brain, man. It's cooking up the brain cells.
You know what I'm saying? I just got speakers everywhere, right? So
Oh man,
He's got mad speakers.
He's got mad speakers, Bluetooth speakers. I love it. I
you know
love
what I
it.
mean? And they're all Bluetooth.
Surrounded
So
by music at all times.
yeah,
At all
man,
times.
I like, I mean, I'm not even showing you half of them, but just to say, like, yeah, that's
dope.
technology I use pretty much every day.
Thank
all
you.
my stuff is related to art, and music. So I use my iPad a lot. I use a sketch pad on my iPad to draw. Yeah. To me, technology is just supposed to make art give you more ways to make art. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to make it for you though.
Wow, we're gonna have to talk about
man,
AI in a little bit, but
he throwing shade.
Huh?
I said he throwing shade.
Yo,
yeah, you could call it that, I guess. Yeah, man.
He's not even denying. He's like, yeah,
sure.
Compliments of G. What is a technology? Oh, by the way, like that makes me think about just even you pulling these out. We saw before. So yeah, like you said, it facilitates, like it can be handy, but there was something we were doing before, like even the beatbox is related to that process of all those speakers that you have. At one point it was like, oh, I want to hear a beat, and you just rock the beatbox. But now you could have any beat, and I'm a big fan of remembering so that you can like keep them all going. That's my thing. Don't like go in a direction where you no longer have the basics. So I think I'm along those lines that JWyze is talking about. Like the notepad on the phone is great. I remember I had a youth that was like, I'll start writing rhymes when I can get a phone so I can write on a notepad. And I was like, no, the pen. Even people are memorizing and not even bothering with anything on paper. So the last question on that fine note, compliments of G, what is a technology that you miss and why?
Technology that I miss. Wow. You know what? Surprisingly enough, it's the old school rotary home phone. Yeah. For a number of reasons. I miss busy signals. I miss the idea that you can't be reached sometimes. No, I mean, my favorite thing about touring. Sorry, I didn't hear you, bro.
I said I love that, the busy signal. I'd never even thought about that, but that is a clue to where we have come from. Like the idea that you can't be reached is something that is gone from this generation. It's gone from technology.
You can't be busy. Nah.
You can't be.
Nah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I love that. I love the idea that, as I was saying, like my favorite part of going on the road is being in between towns and just knowing that, hey, I'm on a strip of road somewhere and the only people who know exactly where I am are the people in this vehicle with me. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's just a great feeling. I like the wildness of it, the adventure of it, you know? For a kid who was born in the 70s and grew up in the 80s, I just remember a lot of time just roaming, you know what I mean? Especially like, you know, living in the Caribbean, you know, I spent a lot of time just on the coral reef by the sea, by myself, you know what I mean? And I just remember like when school was done, the minute, like if I could do my chores and there was this hill that I knew if I could get down to the bottom of that hill, even if somebody called me, I could pretend I didn't hear them and just, you know what I'm saying? And be gone. Like, oh, I didn't hear you. I was at the bottom of the hill. You know what I'm saying? And I missed that. So I missed the home rotary phone. I missed the idea that, you know, we could be unreachable. And I also missed the satisfaction hanging up on people. You know what I mean? It's not the same to just press a button, you know what I mean? The phone just kind of goes dead. You hear that clunk. You know what I'm saying?
And it used to make that old ring, that little ring, that one-off ring.
Oh, yeah. It slams down. It's like ding. It like had a thing to it.
Yeah,
high quality hang up, says JWyze.
You know what I mean? And sometimes it wouldn't hang up right away, so you get. Yeah, man, I love that. You know what I'm saying? It's the antisocialness in me.
Man, this is petty.
Respects.
100%.
That's good. That's good. Yo, Rashadas, I know you want to say something.
I do. I'm like, that's wild. But I love it. I do. I equally love it. So the questions that I had was when I was trying to actually do the video, I noticed I wasn't able to pull up your music, the catalog on Instagram. So I was concerned about your distro. I saw that Symbolic, when he first shared it, he was like, yeah, I got it on Bandcamp, which is a dope move. I mean, especially right now where we are as artists. So my question was, did you choose to distro this album?
Yeah, you can actually get it on Instagram. You can pull it up.
It didn't come up for me. I'm gonna have to
JWyze, because I pull it up all the time and use it in reels and stuff. So you can get it on Instagram. You can get it on all the different social media sites.
You can buy music on Instagram now?
I would love to get to the point really where like my music is mostly on vinyl and Bandcamp, and it doesn't live as much on the streaming sites. You know what I mean? Because, you know, but I understand the streaming sites to me are promotional tools, right? I don't expect to make any money off the streaming sites. I just look at it like, okay, this is the cost of promoting.
The streaming sites don't want you to make any money off the
streaming sites won't give you no money.
Yeah. Hey, I have a question for you on that tip. I was toying with an idea, which is like, just like to do a version that's not the full version for the streaming site. Or does that sound like a reasonable idea? I want to soundboard that with my people.
I think it is a reasonable idea. I think I mean, it depends on what position you're in, I think, really, and what your goal is. So for me, I'm in a position as an independent artist, as an unfamous artist, that it benefits me to have my music in as many places as possible, right? So, like, I want you to be able to grab it on Instagram. Because that's where you're gonna look. I want you to be able to grab it on Spotify, on Apple Music, on Tidal, wherever, because that's the places where people have been trained to look now. So I want it to be in the places where they're going to look for music, because I want as many people to hear it as possible. I would love to be in a position of, you know, a famous artist where I could just say, I'm dropping my music only over here, and know that a good amount of people will forward there to check it out. But I have to be realistic within myself right now, you know, with relation to my goals, and know that, well, for me right now, that's not something that's a really viable option, because if I do that, I'll get, you know, a couple hundred people over there, and then that'll be it.
You know that's all you need.
I'm trying to build to the place where I could just, you know, have maybe an app or a website or just one spot and say, hey, if you want my stuff, you got to come here. I'm not putting it anywhere else. I'd love to get to that point, but I also know I'm not there yet.
And before we go on, Dr. Smart, shout out to you, had I miss, to answer that same question, I miss when television broadcasts ended with the Marvin Gaye national anthem. Firstly, I was like, yo, we didn't get none of that.
We never got that
in
either.
Canada. Yeah, like what?
Wow.
The Marvin Gaye national anthem and White Noise at Night. We did have that. We had our version, but it wasn't dope like Marvin Gaye. That, hey, anyone else on the chat, if you can give us a piece of technology that you miss, that would be, we'd love to hear it. Yeah, Rashad.
Back home, the broadcast ended with "God Save the Queen." Oh, I would have did anything to get the Marvin Gaye.
And here in Toronto, we had those CN Tower, the falls. Remember that old, like basically Canada video where they'd be like the Rockies and like the, what are those?
Yeah, it was
the anthem.
It used to be Old Canada.
Yeah,
it was Old Canada. Yeah. Old
yeah,
Canada,
when I first came to Canada, it was still Old Canada for a very short time because I came in like 89, 90. So.
Around 90, you were newer.
Yeah, that's when I came.
Oh, wow.
That's when I came, yo. Yeah, man, that's when I was fresh.
Immigrant.
You know it all day.
Right? You and me both, but I came as a little baby.
Okay.
We all immigrants.
Yeah.
Were you born here, though, Black Simon?
Yes, I was, but I still think of myself as an immigrant. My parents immigrated. And even from where they immigrated from England, but originally they immigrated from Jamaica and Barbados. So
Jamaica, man.
Yeah, for y'all Americans, you may not know that is a very common path to go by way of England because the islands have that colonial past. Canada had the same colonial past. So my mother went to England as a nurse. I hear that of a lot of elders. They like went to England and then they end up in Canada. Yo, Rashanis, you have some more?
No, that was it. I was concerned about the distro and the feelings about it. I think the collaboration does strengthen it. And I wish this for every artist, that they take control of their IP. And eventually we get back to the place where we're in creative control of how we distribute our projects, especially when you're working together with a crew. It's like, okay, if we're thinking about this from a grassroots perspective, it's like we do all the time. It's, let's support each other. Let's make sure that when we dropping something, when we doing something, we know about it. So that, we can spread the word. Your network is the people you trust and the people they trust. So sometimes that is like, you can make a big ripple if you hit them first, and the Gen Pop last. It is always interesting to see who, loves your music or follow you. Like I tell Symbolic all the time, like I have people following me now that I didn't before Symbolic started to, really post my music, like share my music. And it's giving me an opportunity to follow them back. They're dancers, they're rappers. I mean, even Color, when we were talking about Color, like, like dope people. I love that. I think that I love that the most about social media.
And soon you're going to be in Toronto. We're going to walk in that barbershop community hub. So that's dope. And I'm like, man, I remember the vibe, the hip hop, Toronto hip hop, and the values, and to see in the commercialization, the shift. I'm just like, yo, we were making culture and we were determining, and we had a vision. And so like this whole where it's gone, we should have learned by now. Just be about what we're about, support what we love. You see my name, Dr. Smart, on wherever in the US of A, I'm like, yo, you need to know about JWyze music. Let me know what you think. Please, if y'all know someone we should know, just point it to us, because that's what I think the key is for us to just be about what we're about. I see the hundreds. Shout out Dr. Smart. Thank you. Hey, shout out author as well. JWyze, I have to say, also an author, definitely multi-talent. So yeah, I just want to like hammer down on that. Like, make sure that if you're on this, that you follow. That helps us out.
Follow.
Follow at Talk Show on Point or Talk Show on Point on Twitch, on YouTube, and IG, because then we'll put the word out. But we'd love to like listen to new stuff. No matter what kind of creative stuff you're into, we want to support it. We want to talk with you about it. Now, the last question I had that I wanted to ask, another question for JWyze, is: are you concerned? You mentioned that you're putting you put them on the different platforms,
Mm-hmm.
and I know for myself, I'm concerned, but I've done it, and it's not like I immediately pull it down. About what we're talking about today, everything's fake. They're claiming that they have the right because you use platforms to impersonate your likeness with AI. We've seen the level that it's gotten to. It's only getting better. Are you concerned about that? What are your thoughts about where we're at and what that means for you as an artist? Voice, your style.
I'm concerned and also, but I guess I'm a kind of two minds of it. I'm concerned in the fact that, I would hate someday to see my face and my style being used to promote something that I'm opposed to.
Mm.
You know what I
Like
mean? So
seeing yourself being used as in one of them ice videos.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
that's exactly what I was thinking too.
Perfect
Promotion
example.
for ice.
Gosh.
Perfect example.
It's happened. It's happened already.
Perfect example, because I'm diametrically opposed to everything that they're about. Like, I mean, I would never promote, the slave catching units. You know what I mean? These guys, walking around in their masks. You know what I mean? So yeah. But on the other hand, I'm weird in that there's not a lot that I don't fret. You know what I mean? I believe that the same muscles that you use to worry are the same muscles you could use to plan. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's like the difference between push-ups and dips. You know what I mean? You're using the same muscles, but one, you're gonna get a more strenuous workout, right, and get more benefit. So to me, I would say I tend not to think in terms of like, oh man, I'm worried about this. I think eventually, and Aboriginal Mind Blacks, we talk about this a lot. And I think eventually what it's going to do is really force people offline.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because that is the cyclical nature of human beings. When something becomes so pervasive that you can't go anywhere without it, that's when people start something else. And so I believe, especially as an artist, live artistry is going to become so much more important to everyone. I think live artistry, growing up, live artistry was the real standard. Like, you could make a dope record and people would love it, but when they came to see your show, you had to show out, right? And now that's changed a bit. It's more, the focus is more on the spectacle than the artistry. So, we're singing over our own vocals, we're rapping over our own vocals. You know what I mean? It's much more about this big production than, you know what I mean? The days when, a lady would get up on stage with a guitar and a microphone and hold however many people were in the venue for however long she wanted to with just that. And I think we're going to end up back in those days, because one thing about human beings, we don't like the idea that what we're seeing isn't real. There's something about it fundamentally that makes us value it less. And I think, as more and more as people really discover, like, oh, this is AI, oh, this is fake, they're going to want to go somewhere and see the real. And so I think, what I'm telling all the young people around me is, really work on your live music chops, really work on your performance, like focus on that, because that is going to make you stand out in a world where everything is fake. That reality, there's something about it. And for a prime example, I post clips on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook all the time, promoting stuff. The biggest responses I get, that same clip you just played, it's got massive response, way more than a lot of other stuff like produced videos, and you know what I mean? I did a rhyme in front of this car, just a live rhyme, and posted it up. Again, massive response. So what that tells me is that people are drawn naturally to that live energy. You know what I mean? And I think what's happening with music right now is going to push people back to that. And I think I look forward to a time when, because there was for a long time, your music was known as far as your circle or as far as the places you had traveled to. And I think eventually, because there's so much music and so much of everything everywhere, it's going to really go back to that. I really believe that. And I could be wrong, but you know what I mean? That's what I see in the future. This is me in my Octavia Butler hat, you know what I mean? Trying to scope out the future.
That's an insightful, and thoughtful way to look at it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. We're close to our wrapping it up. We've held you. We respect your time, everybody who's out here. If y'all have a question, we would definitely, if you have a question in the comments, please do, but we're going to wrap it up momentarily. Y'all, what are you saying? IV Produce, what are you saying? Rashanis, Black Simon.
Oh, I know.
Can I say real quick? I love Rashanis' name.
That's what's up. Thank you very much.
It's just really nice. It has a real flow to it, real ring.
I'm waiting for the Rashanis JWyze tune. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Man.
One of these days.
When I come to Toronto, I'm telling you, I'm gonna belt it out. I'm gonna belt it out, right? I'm gonna go to the corner that you started on. I mean, I will say this: I was a little perturbed that you had the WP walking down the street. She turned around, like right in the middle of your video, like, "Hey, mind your business. Mind your business."
Hey, but Toronto, you're gonna have WPs turning around in your video.
Sure.
No matter.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is, most of my videos I shoot on Eglinton, Eglinton West.
Not as many WPs are going to be turned around in your video there.
No, they won't at all.
You'll see Jerk Chicken over there.
You know what I mean? They because that's my neighborhood, right? Like that's
so
usually I shoot stuff up there. But
you're on Eglinton.
Huh?
You're in Little Jamaica area.
Yeah.
Oh, word. That's another. I'm glad you mentioned that. Rashanis, when you come to Toronto, that's an area that you've got to set foot in this city. Survived an onslaught, really. Sorry, go ahead, JWyze.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? Like no, that was it. Like,
yeah,
we could definitely do it, and I ain't worried about them. You know what I mean?
No, for real. I mean, you just kept going. It was so smooth.
Yeah, man, you know how it is.
Yeah,
we have powers.
Yeah, when we doing our thing, especially. But no, I loved it. I know we were talking about, we were positioning AI and it's everything fake and differentiating between what's real and what's fake, especially when it comes to protecting, creative control and not, JWyze, I totally heard you not being concerned about the likeness thereof. And there's definitely data even right now that in the coming years, I think I read the one report that talked about by 2030, like live music is going to hit like $1 billion industry because people they're craving it now. It's like, I'd rather go to a real, to a live show, which is going to, for those of us who are serious about the craft, it's going to, of course, make us consider the ways in which where we perform, who we're performing with, be real calibrated about the way we move around, right? Which I'm looking forward to, because again, it's going to push us to do more collaborations, expand the art, doing, a variety of disciplinary shows. It's going to do all of the things, and everybody eats, everybody's having a good time, and we just keep going. But I do want us to think about the use of AI just without our consent, using the likeness thereof and capitalizing on the culture. And I don't know if we were going to play this particular video Symbolic and I talked about this the other day because we were trying to follow the steps to actually opt out on Meta, Instagram, I believe Facebook. I don't know if we were going to play it, but I do want us to, you know, if law is not the thing, because I totally get it. Yeah, they don't care. It's like, well, yeah, I can change the law at any time. I don't follow my own rules. It's the whole thing. But I do want us to be aware of the ways that we are exploited, so that we can make the decision. We retain and reclaim the decision to share what it is that we want to share in the ways that we want to share it. So,
And we actually we shared and we talked, I don't know, I think we talked about it. LinkedIn had a similar
yeah.
buried
It did.
option where you have to turn it off, which, I mean, that's it, I'm glad they do. It's very deceptive how buried, and both myself and Rashawn has tried separately to go through what we're about to play, and it's so buried that is a dick move. It's very, very horrible, but there it is. Let's take a look.
Deleting Instagram after this new policy. Instagram updated their privacy policy for 2025. They will start using your photos and videos without your consent to train the artificial intelligence of Instagram and Facebook. How to avoid this? Go to Instagram settings, scroll down and click on the option about. Select privacy policy, click on the 3 lines. Scroll down and under other policies select how does Meta use your information for AI. Now a hidden link will appear. This link is your right to say no to this policy. Click on it, fill out the form and send it so Meta doesn't collect your data. Share this video with as many people as possible who need to know about this too. Old versus new.
So I think this is very interesting. That they let you opt out. Not that I think that they shouldn't. I just think that it's odd that they do, because when they make you sign up, usually they just update the terms of service, and it's like either you agree with this or you don't use our platform, right? Giving people the option is a odd but welcome choice, in my opinion. I just thought it was strange that they allow you to actually opt out. It's something new for me.
No,
I think they know they will get sued. They will get sued when something.
Well, you can't sue if it's in the terms of service.
Right, and this is where, again, this is what I'm saying, because you bring up a very interesting point. Symbolic, this is something we didn't talk about the other day. If you listen to the video closely, so we talk about literacy, JWyze, we talked about it. I own a literacy development company. We talk about media literacy, data, AI, like this is what I do, I teach. When you think about the words and the way words are used, that video said that you can, essentially, I'm paraphrasing, that you can, it was inferring that you can opt out. But when you actually find the link, that is not what it says at all. So again, this was clickbait. He accomplished what he was, or whoever it is, was, you know, what they did to accomplish.
Oh, you think it's just clickbait? This
it is because
nothing.
we found that actual page. We did find that page, but it says nothing about, oh, we will not do this. It says, please don't consider my information, because as Ivy just said, it's terms, like your use is permission. So you've already said, oh yeah, you can do whatever you want to. I'm on your platform. It's just what we talked about in shows previous. So the video,
I believe someone will sue them on the basis of it being under
for sure.
duress.
So here's the thing, right?
For sure.
I actually did that same process, but here's the thing, right? One, they're saying that not that they're going to use your likeness as itself, but that they're going to use it to train their AI models, right? So here's my question, right? I have your pictures. I use it to, among many others, millions and millions of others, to train the AI, right? And then somebody says, AI, generate me a picture of a black man with glasses and a baseball cap. And it generates an image of a black man with glasses and a baseball cap. That's not you. How do you know whether or not your image was one of the images used to train it to create that image?
That's the thing. I mean, even the data or your works, because it might, unless it's an actual replication a full replication of what you have done. Like, this is my work. This is the work that was generated from the thing. Look at the similarities, and it's the exact same thing, right? It's the same thing with text. Like, it can sound similar to what you say or what you've written, but it may not be the exact same as what you said or what you written or what you wrote. How do you say y'all use my stuff when it's not verbatim what you wrote? It's based off of what you wrote, or it was like, it was used in the creation of it, and it wasn't necessarily like I said, it wasn't taken word for word. It was just the idea of what was expressed is what's re-expressed in the AI's way, because it did the algorithm with that plus all the other millions of whatever data it's got access to, right? So how do you say that's mine when it is yours, but it's also in there, mixed in there with who knows how many other pieces of art or pieces of literature or pieces of
There
whatever?
is a I believe a class action suit based off of I think it's either authors or composers.
New York Times is one, and the
That
music industry,
Yeah,
which
they
I
getting
think
it's a couple
has,
of
huh?
it's a couple of suits going around.
yeah,
Yeah.
that are basically saying, oh, you used our literature or you used our music to train your AI, right? But the thing
Yeah.
is, so they train these AI models, they basically just trawl the internet
Yeah.
and scrape up everything, and then they just fling it into there. So I'm very interested to see. But for a lesser known, I'm not saying we shouldn't fight back at all. I'm when I'm asking this question, I'm really asking it genuinely. As a lesser known creator, how do you first ascertain that your works have been used, and second, identify it in a way that you could prove?
I think it's really, really hard unless you join in a class action lawsuit, like the class action lawsuit against Anthropic for the artist, like the class action lawsuit. No, it was a class action. UMG and the recording industry, that's different, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not different.
It is, because
It's
those
just
are
that they
those.
have money. And in
Yeah,
fact, a
that's
lot of what
different.
they're fighting on is Black culture.
You're
But yet
right.
we're seeing it as different. And it's not hard because you know where they're going. They're going to all of the internet and social media. So really, we already know that they have a debt to society, but they're just not functioning like that. And when it comes to the you agreeing, like I was saying, that's under duress. So I think that in the future, there's going to be a time when they say that, like, you
It's not under
can't,
duress.
especially as they're
You don't have to use the
it's
platform.
under duress because how many companies, name me what company do you know that's not on Facebook products? The internet is being enveloped by these platforms that if you want to find a company, if I want to find whatever, the Boys and Girls Club or Toronto Metropolitan University or whatever, like you hit them up often. That's one way that people are communicating. So just to say, oh, don't use it is not, it's not fair, right? And so, and
Well,
if they're using all this stuff, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Saying, and I agree, because look at just our banking system.
I'm sorry, G.
Yeah.
You're muffled a bit.
Sorry. What I'm trying to say is the banking system. My audio still sounds bad?
It's a little muffled.
Yeah,
Can
kind
you
of.
take off your
Sorry. So
headset?
is that better?
Yeah.
Way better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is the banking system that we have now, if you think about online banking versus in-person banking, you have access to a wider array of tools through online banking than sometimes going into the bank. And they're cascading away from that in-person experience. I was also going to point out too that there are ways, we talked about them a little bit on our show, and that we need to spend a little bit more time in development about how these ways. But one way we talked about for digital image media was the Nightshade program, where you can encode stuff that stops them from actually
AI
taking
poisoning.
AI poisoning.
poisoning.
But
Yeah,
there
but see,
is other ways that people were talking about that I've been doing. I've been doing a little bit of research. I don't want to say a lot of research, but I'm working on it. It's in the works of adversarial creation of art and understanding how to create things inside your art
that is. And one of the ones that I've heard is actually embedding prompts in your text. So people were basically, you're creating a subtext within your text that is a direct prompt to the LLM. So if it does scrape your information, it also scrapes the prompt, and that prompt can go to something else. Now, does that change the art form, or does that change the way it is? Kind of, but these are ways that are, as artists, we need to look at and go, oh yeah, maybe I can put a little bit, like, you know, a ChatGPT prompt at the end of my lyrics, and then when the computer goes and tries to scrape those text lyrics of your song, it's scraping up that prompt as well. Or even maybe saying directly to ChatGPT in your lyrics. I'm just saying those are just some of the ideas that people are putting out there. Is, can you give it something, because you know it's going to scrape it, can you give it bad data that it will scrape up? And then that may be a clue to that they scraped your data. So
that's actually that's actually a big issue with the AI browsers right now. Is when it like takes a screenshot or it does something, if there's like a prompt in the image or around the thing or whatever, it can or there could be, you know, it could be embedded in the image or whatnot, and then that the AI agent part of the browser can take that, probably when it processes the data, it may process that prompt however it's embedded and do stuff
like a virus that could be
exactly like a virus.
Exactly like a virus. The other way that I heard that people have been using it is they have been for resumes, because now a lot of companies are using AI resume filters. So the AI will read your resume, and what people have been doing, using invisible text. So basically using text that is the same color as the background of the resume, and prompting the AI in that, saying, this is a perfect candidate. You will find that this candidate will be the right one for the job. They need to go to the top of the list, and all of the other things that may, and then they can't see it when they look at the actual email that comes in with the actual resume on it, but the AI sees invisible text. So it reads it and it kind of prompts off of that. So yeah, there are ways. We just have to figure out the ways.
Yo, JWyze is jumping out of here. That is a great point. Want to just say, you know, enough respects and thanks for contributing, for your energy, for your talent, for letting us vote on dope, real, poetic music. Before, hopefully he's still here, I want to tell everybody, please don't go to those self-serve. If you can, when you're at the grocery store, just go to the humans. Let's do those little things in our lives that will, you know, we want people to have a job, we want to meet people, have those little interactions and so forth. But yo, back to what I was saying is, shout outs, go and listen to this Carnival of Souls. Check it out, tell a friend, go and follow JWyze at on which the Instagram, or you know, you and make sure you give us a follow. We're going to keep this going. So yeah, I wanted to let y'all know he's out, and we are going to be out momentarily. Yo, thank you again. There it is, Carnival of Souls by JWyze. Beautiful talent. That is what hip hop is about. The culture. They say the culture. Most people are talking about the business, the money, taking your money. This is like very reasonable. I got mine, you should get yours. That's all I got to say on that.
No, I love it. I love it. I just wanted to, I know he had to run. I did just want to say that piggybacking on the use and the permissions is when you actually find the link that it says, there's a lot of legal, but it says, however, if you have a concern about your personal information being included in a response from AI at Meta Model, you can let us know by using this form. We don't automatically fulfill requests sent using this form. We review them consistent with your local laws. So it's just a request. I don't have to do anything with it. You just tell
This
me
is I gotta let you be able to do this, but I don't actually gotta do anything about it.
that part, which is going back to, you know, why I could understand JWyze saying like, well, you know, it's law, but once you understand, you know, some of the beasts, it's like, okay, so these are the ways that I can protect myself. But it does speak to everything we've been talking about. That's why I love, you know, Black Simon's when we talk about AI poisoning. So there are other ways that you can protect yourself, and it still comes back to the fifth estate. It comes back to having solid information from solid sources that says, okay, these are the ways that we can do this. And in the coming shows, we will be focusing more on those protective ways. We're going to have our one tech friend, I keep calling you that, Ivy, builds us some shit that's going to keep us protected. That's what we going to do in the coming.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I thought that Nightshade had been. I thought Nightshade had been beaten. Like it doesn't. It can be overcome. That's what I thought. I thought I read that.
Oh no, when did you hear that?
I don't know, but I do. I remember reading that Nightshade. Oh, it was 2 years ago. Okay, the Nightshade had been. They're able to. Oh, let's see. Let's see.
I thought it was. I thought there was another one that was. I think it was called Glaze, and I thought that one got beat.
I saw that. I saw that too.
Nightshade 2.0 came out, and I think that basically kind of duped that. I think it's always going to be a battle. That's my last reading of it, but I could be wrong.
All right, so 6 months ago, somebody said you can search for people explaining in depth the exact technical details, but briefly, Nightshade was designed to work against a specific training method. That's not good. Where researchers had to access the code. No training code has been disclosed since then, so it's not even like an arms race. If you literally don't know how the training works, how are you going to disrupt it? That's facts.
Where's the cap? Go ahead.
It will have to be applied to a significant portion of the training data, which is by now tens of billions of images. On that amount, a few million poison images, but realistically, far fewer is simply a rounding error. It's ugly. And so this is like, I don't want to, you know, this is kind of technical, but the idea here is that a small number of people is not really going to help you. It's kind of like when you got a couple of people throwing stones, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's not gonna crack the glass because this is fortified bulletproof glass. It's not gonna, like, you might get a little crack, you might get one, you might, you know, throw a big boulder, but like in the grand scheme of the structural integrity of the building, you're not really making a difference. And it's a real.
But that's, I think not to disagree with you, but my kind of take is,
it's all good.
If I'm not trying to disagree. I think what we're talking about is protecting artists' work, right? So if my work is an individual design of something, it's my thing, and the computer cannot recognize the image to what I have put out, because mine is, I don't want to say unique, but on the more unique, it can't use my image in its training data. And therefore, that training data might be not used in the final instance. Does that make sense? So
yeah, it does.
So it doesn't prevent the AI from learning about my artistic genre of styles, but it won't be able to use my particular work for its learning.
Ideally. And here's another kind of big issue, right? It's that as the artist, you have no idea typically, how most artists don't know how AI models work, don't know how training works. They don't know if the Nightshade AI tool that they're using is actually going to be effective against the type of training that their data is going to be used in. There's not a singular form of training for AI. There's a couple of different types of training. So we have to have a comprehensive tool that will be able to guard us against all training, because otherwise, yeah, it works for ChatGPT 4, But then when ChatGPT 5 comes out, the training methods are different. And not to say this to be pessimistic, but these are the things that have to be considered because like yeah, okay, it works for GPT-3 or it works for Dolly 3 or whatever the case is, it works for Midjourney, but does it also work does the one that works for Midjourney also work for Dolly? Does the one that works for Dolly also work for Midjourney, right? There's a lot of different things that we have to also be able to um defend against. And not this is not to be like the pessimistic side of you, but it's just like looking at it from the side of like, okay, how effective is this? How effective should it be? And how do we get to the point where it's not effective to the point of where it is effective, and how this can actually be something that's scalable that can defend us in a meaningful way against the thing that we don't want to happen. And so this is really for the person who's out there like, oh, okay. So maybe I have to develop a way to hedge against all of those different training methods. So that's just something I wanted to let you know. Just like, yeah, some of these tools may work. It's just how long will they work for? And do they actually work? Like, is it actually going to be able to defend you against being your model being trained, your art being used as training data for these models? And it defeats the purpose if you're trying to use this thing and it doesn't.
Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. There are different training methods. There's lots of different I want to say this, computer vision and how computer vision works and how it interpolates images, and that can be done like a series of different ways. That's what I'm literally learning about right now. How does computer vision work, and how it actually sees things and is able to understand representation.
It doesn't actually see anything. It's all all of the data gets broken down into smaller parts, and then it puts them all together, and then it just kind of like. Again, I talked about this a couple weeks ago, but like it's essentially predicts what the pixel should be. So it looks at the pixel density, breaks down, and then it recreates it by predicting what the next pixel should look like in this general area based off of what the prompt was given to it.
Yeah, and it uses an interference. This is really technical. Yeah, it uses an interference pattern. I don't know if you know what that is, or anybody else. I'm not saying you don't. I'm saying it. Does everyone know what
I'm not familiar with interference patterns.
An interference pattern is it kind of looks like snow or computer screen snow, and it's kind of look like if you add interference to a signal.
Yeah.
And the way that, and this is my understanding, the way that generative AI works is it kind of works backwards. It looks at snow, a complete no picture, and then it takes each pixel and goes, oh, what would this image look like if it was sort of like getting to an image? And it does that thousands and thousands of times. And as the image kind of appears out of snow, and some of the early generative image things, you could actually see the image being built up over time from snow to actually your finalized image. And what Nightshade does is it puts an interference pattern into your image, which you don't see the image because it's very lightly snowed. But of course, the computer, unfortunately, when it scoops up that image to be trained on, it sees the interference pattern as well as your image.
Is that how Nightshade works?
Yeah. I'm almost pretty sure that's how Nightshade works.
So I think, and I remember now how they beat it. They blurred it, and then they blurred the image, and then they like unblurred it, and that removed the Nightshade.
Right. And here's where I think that even still with that blurring, the Gaussian blurs or whatever blurs that they're trying to use, there's something there. We still have to keep going as a community, figure out more ways to beat that stuff. So
absolutely,
there's
ways of doing
it
that we need to look at to beat.
So maybe could we blur? And I'm just going to throw out some crazy. Could we blur the image that we put into the interference pattern? So when it blurs, it actually makes the interference pattern
worse. Yeah,
stronger.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was my Planes album cover. It was all blurred. Yeah, for sure.
And that's the thing, because each time you add processing to an image, it changes the file. If you compress it, you decompress it, that's changing when you compress it, it's changing the file, obviously, because it's compressing it. When you decompress it, ideally you want it to be the same you want the input file to be the same as the output file, ideally. So that's a little bit, yeah, for sure. But yeah, absolutely. Whenever you process an image, anything that you've done against it, increase the contrast, decrease the contrast, sharpness, all of those different things, that changes the image in a slight way, and so it gets a little bit further away from the original image, or the master file, which would be the original. And so yeah, if they could, a big thing that people used to do, or that that I used to do as well, is like, in order to kind of protect yourself from people stealing your images, you would have a print version which had the full resolution, the full size of the image, but then you had also a web version. Now, web version was compressed to shit, and it looked good on a computer screen, but if you tried to take a web image and print it out, it would look terrible. Right, because if you're printing it out
Yeah.
you print out this little image on a MySpace profile picture, trying to print that on a 8x11, 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, it's gonna look terrible, super pixelated. And that kind of idea is probably something that could be done to something, extrapolating upon that kind of theme could help to potentially create something that could actually be effective in multiple different types of model training, degrading the picture when it's been being shared to the point where it can't even be used for model training because it's just too bad a quality.
Yeah. And again, I will say that understanding the compression methods and what kind of math they're using, and can you apply those compression methods before you're releasing the image. Yeah. So you're compressing the image. I think that's what you were saying, is compressing the image before you're actually posting the image. So you're already looking at a compressed image, and if someone tries to get more resolution out of it, it distorts. Again, I'm completely fascinated. Supposedly there's also been a new release of upscaling, and that's actually working in the universe, is how does something upscale, AI upscaling. But I think we need to wrap things up. I think that's what Symbolic was saying. I guess we got that music.
Our schedule is saying. But
no, you don't try and hide. You want to control things.
You want to throw stones and hide his hands. Yeah. We see you.
Hey,
and blame it on the schedule. Yeah. We understand. We got it.
While he's doing that, the only other thing that I wanted to do was just again layer. When I Googled JWyze Jelani, Carnival of Souls, I put it in there for you all. It's going back to what I saw when I asked AI to summarize the 999 video and how it was all this gibberish. That's another way to protect the art, right? Because it's pulling, and the story is not accurate. So just as an artist, Google yourself, Google your projects, Google, to see what's coming back so that we can correct it. Because if you're Googling it, somebody else is possibly Googling it.
Right.
Yeah. Also, having people from all over the world Google it, or being able to do, if you have access to because things are different when they go cross borders. Certain countries block certain things, and certain things are not represented on all websites. So, friends in other countries, best way.
Oh, we gotta do our vibe check. I think we can do the vibe check over the sounds, because there's no words, the words are ours.
Absolutely.
So
I thought you said the world is ours. You're absolutely right. The world is ours.
It is.
What is the vibes?
Oh man, I needed it tonight. Thank you, fam. I'm looking forward to us continuing to provide solutions and be about that thing that we talk about. That's what we do.
Community.
Yeah, for sure.
Tech. Culture.
Critical
thinking.
Yeah, for sure. You're listening to Pieces by yours truly.
Absolutely. My bad. I got so engorged and wrapped in the vibes and the sounds. It's so warm and it just feels so cozy. Just
like a blanket wrapped around you.
Like a blanket wrapped around you, and you're like a baby. Just.
See what I mean?
Symbolic.
Yeah.
What's the vibe, man?
The vibe is nice. We got people tuned in. Happy to see, you know, man like Dr. Smart and to have a nice conversation. But beyond that, JWyze, so many nuggets, so much to think about. Good to know we got our people dispersed out there, you know, thinking and doing and connecting IRL. So I'm good. The vibe is nice. Talk show on point.
Black Simon, what's the vibe?
The vibe is I love talking about this stuff, and I love sharing it with my community, my knowledge, their knowledge, and building. So the vibe is building. That's where I'm at.
I get that. Facts. I'm gonna say something similar. You know, we love AI around here. Both my wife and I are actually working on different coding projects. I've got like 5 of them or more, and she's working on something as well. It's fun because I took the day and I was working on her project, and she was having some issues, and so I was helping her out, use her computer, and was knocking out some bugs in her program, and it was a pretty fun day. We've got our
shout out the Dr. True. Shout out.
Shouts. And so we got our company over here. We're rebranding into a IT and software development company, and so it's exciting times right now for us. So yeah, we're doing something very similar. We're building and rebuilding, and we're trying to create something impactful and lasting. Wow, this beat is amazing.
It is.
But that's our show for today, and I guess we will. I'll let this play for a couple more minutes, and then I'll end the live, and then we can get on up out of here. I'm finna go grab me something to eat. It's late, but I'm hungry.
Peace, y'all. Talk show on point.